All right, so next thing that we're going to talk about in section 3.7 is this going to be a really quick video. We're just going to discuss the two different types of equations that we can have. So we can have our slope-intercept form equation, and we can have a point-slope form equation. All right, and they're not trying to trick you. When I say the slope-intercept, it tells us what type of information we have. We have our y-intercept. That's where our graph will cross our y-axis at. So it tells us where our graph is crossing our y-axis. So we have our y-intercept, and then we know our slope. So that's why it's called our slope-intercept form, because we have our intercept and we have our slope. All right, the other one is our point-slope form, and this is where we're given a point. So we have one point and we have our slope. So that's why it's called the point-slope form. So if you look at our formula, it's y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So if you notice, these two here have a y1 and an x1, while the other ones don't. The other ones have just a y and an x. All right, so that means the ones that have the subscripts of 1, we will substitute into. We will never substitute into the y or to the x in this equation. They will always remain y and x. So we only will substitute into the ones that have the subscripts of 1. All right, so this is our point slope form because we're given a point of x1, y1, and our slope. If you notice, one of the things that you have to be aware of here is that this is y minus y1 and x minus x1. So when we plug in to these equations, or when we take out of this equation, our x and y are actually the opposites that we see. So for instance, if it's y plus 4 is equal to 3 times x minus 2. And I ask you to, what is the point that's given here? What is our x1 and our y1? This y value is actually a negative 4 because our value changed from a negative to a positive. So our y value is actually a negative 4, and this x value is actually a positive 2 because our equation is x minus x1, and since it's remained x minus x2, that meant we had a positive 2. All right, so our values actually change in our point slope form. All right, next thing, the next two videos, I'm going to break them up into their own videos, is we're going to do an example of a graph of each one. So we'll graph a slope-intercept form, and then we'll graph a point-slope form.